imagine if people what people would wear to that show? I would just
a lot of mustaches. I'll tell you that.
Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should. You probably are, and that's why we like you. On this day's episode, week's episode, it's a day, it's a week, it's the beginning, it's Monday. Yeah. We are going to be drinking Cu Bocan.
Tomatin Cu Bocan. Yeah.
Cu Bocan.
I think it's pronounced that. Yeah.
It looks like an interesting way to spell any kind of word, especially that one. Before we get to that, just want to say, hit us up on Instagram. We love to talk to you. That's where we hang out. I will say this: I've noticed since Matt Madness, I've gotten notifications from the Chill Filtered Facebook page. We don't do Facebook. Maybe I should get back into it, but I'm like, oh man, we might be missing something there. But if it were just me, it would be awful because Cole is the chit chatty guy. He knows his stuff. But
I don't do Facebook.
Hit us up on Instagram. That's where we reside. Also, if you want to support the podcast monetarily, hit us up on patreon.com/chillfilter.
You got it.
Patreon. Yeah, okay. Gosh. Full disclosure, folks, I literally woke up 10 minutes ago. I haven't even finished the first cup of coffee. That's why I'm stumbling through this stuff. Also, if you hit us up on patreon.com/chillfilter and enter at the $10 range, you'll be able to join us with, or more, you'll be able to join us on our monthly drink alongs, which one happened last night. And our next one from this series, I think Cole and I were talking.
Yeah.
And depending on the time-wise, how things work out, I think our March drink along will be when we are, it looks like we're both going to be on the same episode of Matt Madness. So we're thinking we'll do Entry Buzz with y'all before Matt Madness. And then we'll head on over there and hopefully have a good time. So we'll keep you posted on that. Anyway, that was the worst business I've ever bizzed.
Nah.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it, man. I'll be honest. I'm feeling it. Oh, what? Okay. Well, then
what's that Blink song? Where he's like,
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I gotta get up. I'm feeling it. We fell short this time. Small spade in the summer. Lay your hands on.
What song is that?
I think it's just Feeling This.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Get it.
You made me sing all that just to say, what song is that? And we already had it.
No. But no, I'm glad you sung it because all our listeners want to hear is Tom and Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I
prefer I'll be honest.
Mark Hoppus. I agree.
Oh, I prefer. I think I prefer Mark out of those two. But Matt Skiba, I prefer Matt Skiba.
Oh, nice.
Like those two albums, I think are
over
Tom DeLonge.
Over Tom DeLonge, you're saying?
So I was a little disappointed that
they got back together fully.
Yeah, no, I like Skiba a lot. He's definitely not as accomplished of a guitar player, but I like his lyrics and I like his voice better.
The California album was really good.
No, that's one of my favorite albums they have. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Tom gets too artsy and like.
I can appreciate Blink-182, but I did not like Angels and Airwaves at all.
Oh, really? I liked Angels and Airwaves in a different way. Like, I think that's where Tom belongs.
Tom DeLonge's voice. Yeah.
That's where Tom DeLonge belongs. Is Angels and Airwaves. I feel like
I just think of like the I Miss You song by Blink-182. Where he's like like spiders and like I just don't like how much he like forces that like.
That's funny because it's very. I think him and Gwen Stefani kind of have a similar vocal pattern.
Yeah, but I think it belongs to the
I'm
women.
just a girl. Yeah, like
I could see that. I guess
it's similar in a way.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
In a way, I guess.
No, it's totally. You can do that. You can.
Yeah. But we love 90s alternative music. So
/ 2000s pop punk / 2000s pop punk reuniting. Have you seen the ticket prices for that thing?
For what?
Blink tour? Yeah.
No.
I was all excited because I've never seen them in concert. I was like, you know what? Like, because you get to the point where like you just gotta kind of see things because if you don't know when you're going to be able to. Like I still
Totally.
like
It might
Tom
never
Petty.
happen again.
Yeah, Tom Petty would come by the gorge every summer, and I was like, I'll
Then he
see him
died.
sometime. And then he died. Now
Yeah.
I can't see Tom Petty, and
Mhm.
I regret that. Yeah,
Do you have any
but yeah, they're
upcoming
like,
concerts? Because I just bought tickets about a week or so ago for one.
where do you get? Ooh, what'd you get?
Yeah, yeah, yes, in DC. So they're kind
Oh,
of
that'll
like
be
my.
fun.
I've talked about this before,
Yeah,
but they are definitely my latest favorite band, and I
yeah,
know all their albums now. And I feel like it's going to be a killer concert because I'm a fan of all their albums and
yeah.
listen to all their stuff and can probably sing along if I wanted to.
Nice.
So very excited. That's in May like 3rd or something like that. So
That'd be
what about
fun.
you?
Tree Fort's coming here at the end of March,
Mm. Hmm.
and I'm excited. Dinosaur Jr. is going to be playing. Hopefully, I'll get to catch
Nice.
them.
I
And
love
then
them.
Pinback is playing, and I like them a lot.
Pinback, yeah.
And then just a couple like
I only know their one song, the "Good to See You" song.
I don't know if I know that one.
Wait, is it Pin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pin
yeah. It's
back.
good to see you now.
I don't know if I know that one.
You should look it up. It's
I
the
have
only song I know by them.
I have others like yeah, they're fun. I like them. I will look it up because I
Nice,
need to get because I like really only know one of their albums that was
nice.
one of my favorites in like the 2000s. I'm like
What's
they're
the
not.
album?
I don't know the name. But it's set down, intercept. What carries us from here?
Nice.
Doo, doo, doo. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to
No.
send you that.
Yeah. It's yeah. So I do need to start looking at that. And then we have then I think we're gonna go see who are the people that has
The
the
Village
guy?
People.
Yeah, so excited.
Dude, could you imagine
I'll be
seeing the
wearing
Village
my
People?
could you imagine the people like what people would wear to that show? Like
Hmm.
I mean I
A
would just
lot of mustaches, I'll
a
tell you
lot
that.
construction stuff.
Yeah.
I would just sit at the gates, just people watching. Like,
Oh,
oh, this
yeah.
is
That'd be a
fun.
hoot.
No,
Yeah.
what's the guy's name?
Ben Gibbard.
Yes.
Did I
What's his
literally nail that?
what's his band?
Either the cutie, whatever, or the
Death
Postal
Cab for
Service?
Cutie.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna go see
Wow.
Death Cab for
Can't
Cutie.
believe
You nailed
I
it.
just
Totally.
guessed out of nowhere.
That was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
I
Proud of
bet.
myself.
Wow.
I
Wow.
just got your hint from the Village People and moved
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
I just the only hint was what's that guy?
Yeah, with the people.
So
Wow.
anyway,
So
we're
yeah,
gonna go
Death
see.
Cab, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Death Cab in the fall, I think. So and then I don't think we have any other
Nice.
things planned.
That's
No
cool.
other shows planned. Yeah. But let me ask you this because
Yeah.
we digressed this far. We might as well lean into it.
Yeah, might as well.
Um, what are your bucket list bands to see in concert that you've never seen? Do you have any?
You know, I really I would love to see No Doubt. Um, and I think they will probably reunite again.
It's getting like
Knowing
that
Gwen.
30-year anniversary time.
No, dude, she's been No Doubt's been a band since 1986.
No, I'm like
So it might be
it's like Tragic Kingdom's 30-year anniversary.
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah, one of
That's
those.
like
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
hear
bands are
what
doing
you're
it.
saying.
Like all of them, I'm like, oh, it's sweet. Like
Mhm.
bands that I love are starting
Yeah.
to like do like this is their 30-year album tour.
Yeah, and then after
Pretty old.
that, I really think I've hit them all that I wanted to.
Really?
Like one of them was I always wanted to see Tool, got to see them. I'm not like a huge Tool fan, but I was like, I would love
But
to
you
see
are
them
a
in
Tool.
concert. What's that?
You are a Tool.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I got to go. But I was like, I just hear they're like incredible in concert, and they were great. And then the Yeah Yeahs were on my bucket list for sure. And then I think that's about it. Besides the No Doubt, which No Doubt's the only one where I'm like, I would
Gotcha.
love to see them before I die. You know. What about you?
Bruce Springsteen for sure. I need to see
Totally.
him. And
Yeah.
I think we might try to go see U2. U2's taking a residency up at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So that'd be kind of cool. So U2's one of them. I can't think off the top of my head, but definitely Bruce. Got to see Bruce.
I would love to also see Future Islands.
Okay.
That's definitely a bucket list one for me.
No, that's attainable.
Yeah, and they're from the East Coast. They're from like Baltimore, so it's probably not that crazy to find some sort of ticket that's not too far from where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me think. There's got to be more than that though.
Well, while
I
you're
mean, I've
thinking
seen
that,
the pumpkins plenty of times. I've seen Jimmy Eat World a ton of times, and they're incredible.
yeah.
And then, yeah,
Oh,
pretty
Idols. I need to
happy
see
with.
Idols. That's the
Oh,
other one.
that's right. Yeah, you would love them. Yeah,
Oh, freaking, they're my favorite
you get
band.
mosh pity in that kind of concert.
Oh man, I would dance. I would just
Yeah,
dance and dance my heart out. Yeah.
dance like
And they're
there's no
touring, but it's like
tomorrow.
they're touring, but the tickets are like
They're
90-ish,
what?
which the tickets are like 90, and then like
No, no, you
there's
said they're what?
touring.
No, no, you said touring.
Did I say touring?
I don't know. It sounded like it, but
But
you
it's
probably
like
like
tickets
threw
are
in the
90.
ear.
You're correct.
Yeah,
No, they're touring, but then it's like all places that are like I would have to buy the $90 ticket and then spend $200 in gas and then a hotel. I'm like,
yeah.
that's an expensive concert. So I gotta
That'd
figure
be
that out.
cool though.
Although the Primavera or something like that, it's a Spanish. It's in Spain. It's like this big festival.
Oh yeah. Are they playing there?
Chelsea. I don't know, but Chelsea wants. We're
I
gonna go
think
do
the
that.
Yeahs are playing there, something like
Dude, a
that.
lot of
I
people
don't
play
know.
there, but Chelsea wants to go for her 40th to that.
Oh, that'd be killer.
So
She's not
you never know.
near 40, is she?
Uh, she's 37.
Okay, yeah. So she's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let me just look at this. Oh, that's 2021. Give me 2022 or 3 or whatever. I don't know.
So
But
anyway, we
mhm,
probably should do the
probably.
regular thing. Cole, how was your Disneyland trip?
Dude, it was actually pretty good. When you put it all together, you're with a baby or like a toddler and with two less than 10-year-old girls, it can be you don't get the idea that it's going to be relaxing, but it was a little bit relaxing. Like it was nice because we would like to like the girls would want to come back to the resort midday and like play in the pool and stuff. I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna chill and like relax. And Beck would take a nap during that time. So that was nice. It was nice to have just kind of a getaway from work and stuff. And we did a bunch of fun rides and a bunch of like smaller rides. But I also got to do. There was like a new one called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, altogether it was good. It's like it's hard with kids. You're like, I get it. It is boring to wait in line. And we got like lightning passes and like the whatever speed lane things. But it's like, I get it. But like, hey, we're here. We're at Disney World. It's going to be fun.
Did you give back like a little fanny pack full of stuff?
Yeah, we had a lot of snacks. And sometimes, when it was a bigger ride, we would just chill back with her and just go shopping and stroller her around and stuff like that. So, it was it was nice because we got back yesterday rather. Today
Yeah.
we're recording on Saturday. We got back on Friday and it was like thank God we have the weekend to just readapt to life. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, for sure.
feeling good.
Looking good.
Looking good. There's gotta be something else. I felt like nah, that's about it.
Yeah, don't fake the fun.
That's my
Yeah.
yeah. Don't.
Don't
So
force
what
it.
about you? What's new with you?
Not much. I mean, things are all right. Mara, today
Yeah.
that this comes out, it'll be Amara's 13th birthday. I have a teenager, which I cannot believe. Well, I don't
Wait,
now, but
what's it tomorrow? You said?
Monday. So Monday's
Oh,
Amara's
wow.
13th birthday, which is just crazy. So I have a
Dude,
teenager.
she's so
By the
big.
time it's gonna, I know it's crazy. Well, the funny thing, like
Wow.
her and Chelsea we're going to walk to pick up the girls, and they're
Yeah.
walking next to each other. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Mara is a young lady. Like she's about as tall as her mom, and they share shoes now and
Wow.
stuff. It's crazy to me. But
I wonder if she'll be like. I mean, it sounds like she'll be on the trajectory of being very tall.
yeah, she's got long legs, and so
Mhm.
she's about getting closer to mom. And Chelsea's like 5'7", 5'8", something like that. So
Yeah.
she's not like tall, but she's
That's
not
tall for a
short.
13-year-old though. That's great.
Yeah, he's getting there. So so it's her birthday, and then other than that, man, nothing too much else going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Wait,
glad
so
we.
what are you doing? Can you tell me what you're doing for her birthday?
Well, we've had some attitude adjustment stuff going on, so we've had
Oh,
to
always
limit.
adjustments.
Yeah, we've had to limit kind of things that we're gonna do in general.
That's cool. I respect that. I respect sticking to consequences.
Yeah, which stinks, and I'm like, 'cause I'm like, you know what? Like, this is not fun for us either. Like, this is a big deal.
Mhm.
We want to celebrate. So, but she's also like, she wants to go to school, and then we're gonna go. She's got a dance class that night too. So her friend and
Nice.
we're gonna take them out to get some dinner and then go to the dance class, and that'll be about it. But
Nice.
the cool thing is, like, so I was like, you know what? We'll do like because it is a big deal. We don't want to short you like on a 13th birthday, so we are going to do like
Yeah.
a half birthday in the summer, and
Nice.
we'll have which is nicer anyway because like we're gonna do like probably at her Chelsea's brother's house and like do a pool party for her friends and stuff like that. So we'll
That's
celebrate
fun.
it big there with the friends, which is gonna be cheaper and nicer. So yeah,
I thought she had a March birthday.
no
I was
March.
wrong.
Well, it's February 27th, so it's like right at the beginning of
Yeah,
March,
makes sense. Yeah.
and yeah, we may have celebrated it like the next weekend in March before. I don't know.
Mhm.
That could be.
Yeah, that's cool.
It could be.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, I'm super excited
Mhm.
because the Big Sky basketball tournament comes through is in Boise,
Oh, cool.
and it will be next week. And my Eastern Washington Eagles are undefeated in conference play, so I'm hoping to see them punch their ticket to the big dance. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to
Nice.
that. So it's about that.
EWU.
Go
Probably the
Eags.
most cumbersome acronym of the colleges.
No, he's got EW. Yeah, like that.
EW.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like because we couldn't say UW at University of Wisconsin. We had to say UW, which separated it from University of Washington. But W's it's cumbersome sometimes. But EW makes sense. EW.
You know what? I don't know why I never thought they could say EUU because it's like you have a W, then a
True.
U, triple
Yeah.
U.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Do it next time. See if it catches on.
I was at the tournament. I'm just like EUU, and like
Yeah, and everyone's
it's
like,
in a what? Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be.
But maybe they'll run with it. You'll be like, dance monkeys. So anyway, why don't we go to a break and we're gonna be drinking the Tomatin Cu Bocan, but we'll go to a walk break first and we'll get to the history right after. So here we go to break. Welcome back. What a nice
Ooh.
walk.
Oh, it was.
It's gotten cold out. When we were in Florida, it was like 90 plus degrees. And then apparently while we were there in Richmond, it was like 80 plus degrees. And then today it's like 40 something. So whatever.
Wow.
Quick shout outs. First, a shout out to Miles Ferguson, Kilted 518, for providing the sample we're drinking today. It's funny. He told me about how much he loved this pour, and I saw it when I was in Phoenix on the shelf at Total Wine. I'm like, hey, I'll buy this for you if you want it. And so I got it for him, and he's like, yeah, just pour 2 samples for you and Robby, and then I'll drink along with you for the episode. So
Baller move.
friggin' not a good thing. Yeah, better. Baller salute to him. Also, a little baller salute. Shout out to Justin of the Smoked Oak on Instagram. We reached out. We mentioned last week's episode. Hey, hit us up, and he hit us up. And he's
What's
a girl
your
dad
name?
too.
Yep.
His name is Justin. And thanks for reaching out and talking. Well, you can hit us up anytime, man.
And I appreciate the fact that he says, "I appreciate the parenting tips."
Yeah,
because that's about all I do.
Yeah,
around here.
I mean, they're
drink
maybe not
Cole's
tips,
whiskey.
they're just like what we did wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
at least they're helpful somewhat. And it's funny. A lot of our listeners who are dads are girl dads, except for Bryce friggin' Marita, who decides I'm only gonna have boys.
Ooh,
But we still love Bryce, so
it's okay.
Yeah,
yeah, we do have a lot of girl dad listeners.
A lot of girl dad listeners.
Maybe maybe it's because we're not like the whiskey bros. Like,
Yeah, we're like the whiskey sensies.
Sensies?
You ever heard that? It's like from Scrubs. Well, it's more than probably from Scrubs, but he's like, I'm a sensitive guy. And he like goes into like the examples of why he's a sensitive guy, and it's
Actually,
pretty
Cole,
funny.
you've never been a big fan of the name Chill Filtered, right?
No,
Well, let's just change it now. We're the Whiskey Sensies.
whiskey sensies. Yeah, we should have been non-chill filtered, but that's a little bit cumbersome as well.
Yeah.
If anything, in the chill filtered range, I would have been like, how about non-chill filtered? Because we're unfiltered, but whatever. But we're also chill.
No, we're pretty filtered.
Yeah, we got a filter
I
now.
did feel bad. I said a
Mhm.
swear word on Matt Madness, and I thought, because we
I heard
avoid that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we avoid
Yeah.
that on here.
Patricia must have been like,
Sorry,
no,
Patty.
Patricia's great. And for
I
good
bet she
reason.
doesn't like being called Patty. Sorry about that, Patricia.
You called her Patty?
I just did
Did I
now.
just miss that? Oh, I
I
missed
just
it.
said sorry, Patty, but
Yeah, she's
probably doesn't like
Patricia.
that.
Probably doesn't. Yeah. But anyway, Tomatin Cu Bocan. This is definitely our first Tomatin distillery product on the podcast. Excited to get into the history, especially with this limited release that it is. So, when people think of Highland distilleries, they don't often think of Tomatin first, at least. Although Tomatin is somewhat close to the Spey River, it is not a Speyside. It is most definitely a Highland Scotch, though. Located about 16 miles southeast of Inverness, Tomatin, a small village, is on the River Findhorn. I probably pronounced that wrong in terms of
Finkel and
Scottish.
Findhorn. Finkel
Yeah.
is Findhorn.
Findhorn. What's that from?
It's Ace Ventura. Finkel is
Ah, it's
Einhorn.
been a
Einhorn is
while.
Finkel. Einhorn is Finkel. I kissed a man.
I watched on the flight down. I watched Happy Gilmore, and it was on mute because I didn't have my earbuds or whatever. But it was
Oh,
still good.
yeah.
Still
Was
good.
it like you had to have like a plug-in headset?
Yeah, you had to have
An
like an
auxiliary?
auxiliary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I made that mistake, and I will never do that again.
Well, what I would
Luckily,
do is just keep it in my backpack and just like only for flights. And then apparently I must have taken it out at some point.
yeah, the last time we came back from Mexico, I was
Mhm.
like Finley had a headset, so I had like this pink headset on, watching
Nice.
movies.
Hey.
It worked.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have. Here's the thing: is that I would not have put in the earbuds because Heather was entertaining Beck the whole time, and I was like trying to like help out here
Yeah,
and there. So I wouldn't have been that dad who's like, "All right, you take care of the kid."
keep Beck
You know?
quiet. I'm trying to watch Mr. Gilmore
Exactly.
win his
You
jacket.
keep this, you keep this girl down. Anyway, so the Tomatin Distillery is not on the Findhorn or Findhorn itself, but it is a small little tributary of it and a creek of sorts, and it's called the Altna Frith Burn. And a burn is just basically a creek, a little water source. In this case, coming down from the small little mountains around the western portion of Tomatin. Although, like most Scotch distilleries, Tomatin got its start legally at one point. It was very likely that distillation was going on illegally for years prior to getting a registered distillery, or being a registered distillery. In 1897, a local man of Tomatin named John McDougall, which is actually a big name in Scotch. There's
We just did
like a master
McDougal.
distiller named John McDougall these days,
Yeah, we did that
who
a couple weeks
is
ago, and I
known
said
to have.
R.F. McDougal's.
Yeah, well, he was known to have worked in like every portion of Scotland in terms of being a master distiller. He was in like Isla, the Lowlands, Highlands, Speyside. He did it all. But anyway, that's not the
Did
same
it
John
all.
McDougall. He's not over 100+ years old.
What if it is?
Yeah, he started a
That would
distillery
add to
in
the
the
lore.
area. What's that?
What if it is?
What if
He
he's the ghost dog? We'll get to
What
that
if
later.
he originally,
Hmm.
he's like, his best place he ever worked at was the Highlands, and he
Yeah.
is the Highlander.
Oh,
He
which I
could
still
be.
haven't seen.
Okay.
Maybe he is that guy.
You're the man
But
now,
yeah, that
dog.
was.
That's not
We'll
from the
bring that up
Highlander.
later too. Yeah, he started the distillery in the area right a little bit after, a few years after the Highland Railroad was being built on the land through Tomatin. Sadly, it didn't
I
last
don't think
long. It
of
only
trains when I think of Scotland.
well,
That's
if you
weird.
think about it,
I mean, it makes sense,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
just
it totally
never
makes
like don't
sense.
picture trains in Scotland.
Just rolling hills and peat and a
Yep,
bunch of people with great accents. Um,
and some of the
and
best
the
Dern bands
Proclaimers.
you can find.
What's that? Yeah,
Some of
as
the
I said, the Proclaimers. And
which was
I will walk I don't think I hit the note there.
100 miles because
I
we
will.
don't have a single train. See, it makes sense now. That's why
Yeah.
I never thought of trains in Scotland.
Yeah, it all adds up. So anyway, sadly, it only lasted like less than 10 years when it was closed in 1906, but 3 years later, it was bought out and reopened as the new Tomatin Distillers Company Limited in 1909, and it started producing once again. And Tomatin did well for apparently decades. But in the recession of the 1980s, it took a hit and closed in 1985. And apparently, get this, at the time, it was the largest malt distillery in Scotland, which is really hard to believe because I you don't really hear of Tomatin that much, but it was killing it apparently. And I checked multiple sources on that, and they all said, yeah, it was apparently the highest producing malt distillery in Scotland. Crazy to think.
That's not
Anyway,
too many qualifiers.
what do you mean?
Well, I'm just like world's tallest treeless mountain. Like there's
No, no, there were. I
gotta be.
mean, you think about it. Macallan's in that boat.
Mhm. I'm saying there's
Like
not a lot of
Glenlivet.
qualifiers. Like that's pretty legitimate.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a ton of. I mean, there's a lot of Scotch distilleries out there. But anyway, they quickly after 1985 got bought out by Takara Shuzo Corporation, a Japanese company, within about a
Oh.
year, and was renamed the Tomatin Distillery Company Limited. Anyway, there's been they've been really working on solidifying their name as a single malt Scotch producer, and they also do a few blends. They work with a few blends and I think produce a few blends potentially with other distilleries, but they put it out themselves. One is called the Antiquary, and you might have heard of that ever. And the other one is the Talisman, both blended scotches that come from Tomatin. They're in their single malt range. They have a 12, 14, 18, 30, and 36-year-old. But another single malt range they have includes Cu Bocan, which is a lightly peated single malt from Tomatin. Remember Balvenie Peat Week, where
Mhm.
Balvenie, a typically non-peated distillery or whiskey producer, takes 1 week a year and malts, mashes, and distills a peated barley whiskey. Um, and well, Tomatin does something very similar. Also, 1 week a year, apparently, they make a lightly peated scotch. And for those that don't know, Highland scotches are not known for their peat. So this is a very special edition. They call it Cu Bocan because that's Gaelic for ghost dog. And it's from this legend that there's a ghost dog haunting the town of Tomatin, which I thought was pretty cool.
Ooh.
But I just found this out today as I was writing the history that there's quite a few Cu Bocan releases. I thought there was like basically just one bottle, and it was like, "Hey, Tomatin Cu Bocan," but it's like a line. And what we're drinking today is their basically like their standard no age statement. I think so. I didn't write this down. So there is on their website. They don't have the exact bottle that I bought. I don't know if this is quote their signature, but it didn't have that on the label of the bottle I bought. I'm just gonna say this is their standard no age statement. Um, but there is a signature, and it is a little bit different looking bottle, but it's kind of their base. It looked like, so I wasn't sure if they like just changed the bottle recently or something, but it was not updated on their website at least. They have a 15-year. There's a creation. There's Cu Bocan creation number 1 through 4. There's a limited edition from like 1988, 89, 90, like when it was distilled. I thought that was pretty cool. There's even a Cu Bocan Sherry and a Cu Bocan
Ooh.
Virgin Oak. Like I said,
Whoa.
it's a whole line. Interesting that it's so big a line when it's just 1 week a year. But hey, Some of the releases were very small. Like one was like less than 1,000 bottles that I saw. But what we're drinking today, Cu Bocan signature from Tomatin. It might be signature, it might be not. It is a single malt Scotch, lightly peated barley, ex-bourbon barrels, sherry butts. Ooh, drive me nuts. And North American virgin oak age, so a variety of barrels. And this one's no age statement, 92 proof and non-chill filtered. Hey,
Hey,
that's
that's
not the
not the
name of
name
the
of the
podcast.
podcast. It
So anyway,
should have
total
been,
wine
apparently.
price. What's that? Oh
Hey,
yeah, should have
that
been.
should have been
Yeah.
the name of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been the name. Yeah, I like that better. Total wine price is $66, so not too bad for a single malt. Let's get into drinking this. What do you say?
Let's do it. Man.
So when I got back from Florida, apparently my power had gone out at some point,
Oh no.
and there were a few things in the freezer that were thawed and then refrozen.
Yeah.
And one was the ice in the ice machine. So I need to just toss out that ice and let it regrow some solid ice.
So do you have weird ice now?
Yeah, it was all stuck together.
Ooh, this, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
nice fruity.
Super fruity on the nose. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
first I was thinking appley.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but it's like, it is appley, but it's like
Yeah.
pears as well. So it's like a,
Yeah, pear's big.
it's really
Nice,
pleasant nose.
like, yeah, like almost like baking apples, if anything, and baked pears.
This,
Really rich in the
Mhm.
fruitiness, rich in the like. I could almost see this being like velvety in mouthfeel. Really rich. Dried
Oh.
apricots, a little bit on the nose. Raisins, a little bit as well. Digging it. Not peat
Dude,
though. What's that?
sip it for all it's worth. This is delicious. Little peat on the back end of it, maybe, but like,
Yeah, there is.
it is like fruity,
Wow.
sweet. Mouthfeel is like super viscous.
Complex.
It's like a warm honey kind of like consistent viscosity in the mouth.
Yeah. There is
It comes on bright and strong, and then it just doesn't stop. Like, it's lingering forever. This is
It's
delicious.
different.
I haven't even had an entry buzz. Like, my palate is not warmed up at all, and this is phenomenal. I love this.
Yeah. It is pretty complex. I got like 2 finishes, let alone the palate portion. The first part of the finish was like, I'll get to the palate in a moment, but the first part of the finish was like sharp smokiness, and it was like 3 parts really. It was like started off like a little bit of peat, and then it like sharply put up the peat, and then it like went a little tobacco on the back end. The palate, on the other hand, yeah, fruity. The mouthfeel wasn't that velvety exactly like I was talking about, but it was still like nice mouthfeel, very fruity. Dried apricots. Yeah, I got to go for another sip.
Yeah, apricot I think is a great note. And then it is a little bit of like stone fruit in general. So like bright like an apricot to start, and then kind of goes towards more like a raisin or something like that towards the end. Like, it's super sweet and delicious. What was the proof on this again?
92.
92. Okay. Yeah. It's not, I mean, it doesn't taste that hot. Like, it really doesn't. I mean, for an experienced whiskey drinker, you could drink this like you would, like, as much of this as like you could like a Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
right?
this
Like,
would be entry to peated too. A nice
absolutely
nice transitionary for someone who doesn't like peated whiskey, this might be a great option to start them on peated whiskey.
If somebody likes whiskey, this is just a great whiskey. This is so good.
If you I'm quoting I don't know if you ever heard of Reggie Watts, but he's like, if you like anything you enjoy, I think you'll find this palatable. Just like, he's so funny. He always just says things that like seem to make sense, but they don't.
Who's that?
All right. Who? Reggie Watts?
Yeah. Not ringing a
He's
bell.
he is a musician slash he was he I think the only thing he's really known for in like general or like what he was at least for a little bit or maybe all the whole time. Who's that weird British guy who has the night show?
Oh, I don't know, but I always see like
Corden,
clips.
James Corden. I don't like him, but he's
Oh,
the
gotcha.
music guy for James Corden. And he's a big guy, like huge African American guy, and he is so talented. And he does like looper music. I'll have to send you a video
Okay.
because one, he does TED Talks, and he'll do a whole TED Talk and make no points, but it almost seems like it's really deep, and you're like, he'll be like the topography of our souls, and like just like use these phrases that sound deep, but you're like, you're getting nowhere, and like the whole TED Talk, he'll make no sense, but it sounds like it is. And anyway, so and then he did this one. My favorite performance of his, he was on Conan O'Brien one time, and he did this song called like that. He was like, "I love the way that you're looking," which is like, why would he say it that way? Like, there's so many things about Reggie Watts. So you're like, why'd you say it that way? And it's mostly just because it sounds cool, but it doesn't make much sense. So
Gotcha.
anyway,
I'll have to look it up. Nose with some water is delicious.
yeah. Oh, good.
It's
Ooh, even better, I'd say.
I don't know if I'd say better, but I think it's brighter for sure.
Great.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I think apricot is kind of where I'm landing on the fruit.
Yeah.
Not apple,
Dried
not
too,
pear
for me. But
Dried.
it's a little more bright than your average dried apricot.
Yeah, no, but yeah, like I think a dried fruit smell is less intense, but this has a nice intensity to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's intensity in 10 cities. It's live at Budokai.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go for a sip as well.
Oh, shoot, I already did.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
I prefer it neat, but it does. I kind of like what it does at the back end with the heat.
Yeah, I prefer it neat too.
Like it gets a nice bright like alcohol heat on the back end, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It does. It's pun intended. Tastes watered down. Like it's just not as delicious. It's not as It lost that good mouth feel. I don't know. Neat's good. Neat's better. It's less fruity. It's watered down. I gotta make sure I don't. I want to go back to this neat, so I gotta make sure I don't.
I'm with you. Neat is better. It's got a lot more of the flavor.
Ice could be interesting.
Slight bitterness with the ice. I mean, with the water. Yeah, let's pop a cube.
Find a good cube. You know, you haven't said in a long time.
What?
Bus driver.
Dang
Drop
it.
back. Oh, you missed.
Now it's on my butt. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. Throw it on the ground. I'll grab another cube. There we go. Let's drop this cube. There we go. Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Did you see me do my ice bit?
This time, no.
It was the most disgusting one I've done. There was water everywhere.
Flying everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Give the old spin, Jay.
I'm seeing what it looks like with my nose to be pushed to one side. It looks kind of funny.
Do what you got to do. You do you.
Yeah.
That's what you said to me.
YouTube.
You said to me last week, and I was, for no reason, like, my hands. And then you're like, I just want to see what I've never seen frankly, Miss Dippy, I've never seen a blue duck before. So I wanted to see a blue duck.
What's that from?
Happy Billy Madison.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And he colors his duck blue.
And he's like, Shabadoo.
Man. I have a feeling this is going to be a very long episode.
Yeah, we're already at like
we should be moving on, but we're not.
But let's try the ice pour. So muted nose on the ice.
I think you get a little bit more of the smokiness. A little bit.
A little bit. I wouldn't call it raisins or dried apricot on this one, but it's still a little like dried fruit musty a little bit in
Yeah,
an interesting way. It's not a
I
bad
think that's
thing.
a good way to put it. Musty, like the smoke note isn't so smoky, but musty is kind of a good way to.
Oh,
No,
it's
doesn't go
good.
bad.
There's a moment where it's like, ugh, overwhelming, like in a almost bitter way, but then it calms itself down and it's a good
Yeah,
finish.
I will say the thing I like about this is it's complex. Like it
Yeah, it
transitions,
is. You get a
and you're
lot.
right. Like it did start like, oh, it's gonna get better. Oh no, it's not. It's fine. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah,
Best neat, in my opinion.
best neat for sure. The
The
mouthfeel is great.
fruitiness is like really cut up by a little bitterness with the ice. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely best neat.
yeah, that's for sure. Which is surprising because a lot of times, you get scotch and water and ice makes it great.
Yeah,
This,
it can be.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, like neat was just great by itself. So
It was.
it just it's hard to be better than that.
Yeah. I'm trying to formulate a rating. This is hard, actually. I think this is not 9+ for me. It is good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8.6 here. Proud of that
Okay.
one. I feel good about 8.6. It's good, really good, neat. Complex. If you're looking for a complex whiskey, this is it. This is also a great entry to peated whiskey. I think it is. I love the fruitiness. I love the dried fruitiness. I love the velvety nose. But some highlands or some islas could beat this easily.
You
But
froze
I
there
still
for a
think it's
second.
good. No, yeah. I think this is still worthy of an 8.5 plus. I'm giving it that 8.6. Happy with that rating. I think it's great. I don't think it's blowing my mind, but I think it's great. And I really enjoy the complexity of it. So that's what I got.
I love this neat, but I think I agree with you. It's not a 9 plus. Um,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna go 8.9. This is
Okay.
really delicious. Like
Nice.
I would love to have this on the shelf. This is
Yeah.
again, like I said, great entry to Scotch. Um, but even if you like Scotch, like this is really friggin' good. It's
Yeah.
delicious, complex. Like neat had an amazing mouthfeel
Mhm.
and lots of fun flavors.
I would be super interested in how the special edition Cu Bocans would be, especially like the 15-year or the sherry finished one or some of their creations or whatever. So um, if anyone's got one and they want to share, let us know. So
Yeah, sounds good.
um,
All right.
with that, I think we'll scooch on
Moving on
our
over.
booties over to our segment we like
Rocking
to
on
call,
over.
yeah,
Move
whiskey
over, little
world
Cole.
news.
Welcome back to Whiskey World News. I don't do it that way ever. That was odd. Part of the show where we read an article we talk about, didn't write, gonna read it. Here it goes. This one comes from Forbes. We're moving up in the world. Titled
Ooh.
American Whiskey Salvaged from 170-Year-Old Shipwreck Could Be Worth Millions. This is written by Brad Chaffee? Chafe? I don't know. Didn't write his name. Didn't really read it. Here we go.
Nice.
Sunken Scotch has captured the imagination and
Ooh.
purse strings of whiskey enthusiasts for generations. It's the term used to refer to liquid that's unintentionally aged at the bottom of the sea after a shipwreck. Now, American whiskey is poised for the same treatment. Call it banished bourbon. Okay. The story starts an ill-fated evening in December of
That's weird.
1854. A passenger steamer called the Westmoreland foundered in the frigid waters of northern Lake Michigan. In addition to the 17 lives lost that night, were the contents of the ship's hull, which included 280 barrels worth of whiskey. This
Wow.
precious cargo was largely forgotten by history until 2010, when shipwreck diver Ross Richardson discovered the Westmoreland wreckage 200 feet below the surface of Platte Bay, Michigan. According to his team, the cold and calm conditions of the water here have worked wonders in preserving the submerged vessel. In fact, he estimates it to be among the best preserved wrecks of the 19th century. Which brings us to the bounty of booze it still safeguards to this day. There's no guarantee how much of the liquid is left or what quality it exists in, considering it's resting in wood rather than glass. But the price of what remains would be quite robust regardless. A single bottle of Scotch salvaged from the SS Politician off the coast of Scotland fetched 12,925 euros at auction in 2021. In best case scenario, this cachet of 280 barrels could result in as many as 56,000 bottles if each one was valued commensurately to its Scottish counterpart. A big if. That would be over 871 million USD in liquid gold. Excuse me. But not just collectors who are clamoring for this taste. At first reported by the Mirror earlier this month, Richardson says that a regional distillery wants to salvage the juice for scientific research. The genetic makeup of corn was much different in 1854 and may have had a different taste than today's corn, he told the newspaper. I think I'll stop there.
Nice.
Or shall I read on?
No, that's good.
There's only like one more paragraph I probably should have. Yeah.
No, if you want to, you go for it.
Nah, I'm done. I tapped out, man.
Dude's done.
Flimmed up. I can't read anymore.
It's all good. So I have thoughts on this.
Oh, do you, Cole?
So it was like over 10 years ago they found this wreckage, right?
2010.
Yeah. What's up with that? Why haven't they like salvaged the barrels yet?
Well, I wonder if there's like COVID got in the way, probably. COVID did. No, I bet there's like a lot of like red tape, legal things, like
I would have punctured one of them barrels. If there were like 280 or whatever, I would have made one of those barrels work.
I would have bunged that hole and sipped it on it.
Bunged that hole hard. And I just think like they should know by now what's in those barrels. But the thing is like, so we talk about this in, the breathing of the barrels and stuff. And if it's underwater, I really think there's going to be water that's going to get into the barrel as opposed to, because it's even a pressure thing. Like if you're on the bottom of a 200-foot, portion of Lake Michigan, you are, there's a lot of water pressure there. And the water pressure would probably force Lake Michigan water into the barrel as opposed to continuing to age what was already in there. So my thought is it's probably not good, just scientifically. It's probably not like, it's probably like super watered down, and probably even potentially, I would imagine these barrels would be full of Lake Michigan water and some whatever whiskey was in there prior to bourbon being officially recognized in any way. But it would be really interesting if it wasn't the case. But I wouldn't put my money on it, I'll tell you that. Especially, you'd think, I mean, it's cold. Don't get me wrong. It's very cold up there. It might like prevent a lot of rot or whatever. But like, how old did they say the shipwreck was again?
Oh, I think it was
over 100 years, I want to say. Yeah, it was like the 1800s.
170 years old. 1854.
Yeah, it's like mid 1800s. So, I don't think wood would be that strong to be able to handle it. But we had at least a few listeners reach out this week, or at least a few friends reach out this week. For me, I had one friend, Trent, send me the article. And then we had a listener as well who I'm blanking on right now, but maybe I'll bring it up. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think it was interesting, speaking of bands, that they were talking about corn and how different it could have been back then. And the ship was called the Westmoreland. 2 new metal, rap metal bands. Westmoreland from Limp Bizkit and the band Korn. And that, my friends, is all I can contribute to this show, and I am sorry.
That's deep.
Yeah. All right, should we move it on?
Who's Westmoreland from the Biscuit?
He's like the guitarist.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh boy, what's his name?
Durst.
Fred.
Hey, Cole, I'm over here at What Whiskey Would You Choose? And as Fred Durst would say, come on!
Or do it for the nookie. Yep.
So you can take that cookie and shove it up your butt. Like that's like the stupidest thing. Oh man.
So there was apparently Fred Durst had worked with like Christina Aguilera or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there was like some sort of collab that they did together. I don't even remember what it was. But when asked about why did you work with like a pop star, Christina Aguilera, and he said, I did it for the nookie. And then Christina Aguilera comes back at one point. He's like, there was no nookie. I saw that one fun. I just thought it was so funny. So
What did she
anyway,
change? Xtina, I
yeah.
think, is what she. And then she changed her name to Xtina, which
Oh wow.
it was to be more extreme, I guess. That's
Yeah,
fun.
you got to be extreme. Yeah.
All right.
Whatever
Anyway,
brings
last
the
week we
X
asked
in.
you what bottle in your collection would you
Yeah.
pour
Yeah.
down your
Mhm.
drain? Cole went with the Peaky Blinders. I went with Centerfire Corn Whiskey. Cole won 55 to 45. Had some write-ins here. Dramhound, St. Cloud Bourbon Batch 2. It was terrible. Stopped me from trying other good stuff they put out since. Matt Tomarkin Bacon Club said Stonehammer Kroger House brand bourbon. Bought it because my
Hey,
best friend used to like it.
I've
Uh,
seen that at Kroger. Doesn't look good.
we don't have Kroger's. It's all Albertson country out here.
That's true. Yeah, Albertsons is
Um,
based in Boise.
yeah. I think Kroger's actually buying Albertsons out.
Yeah, I think they're merging at
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Anyway, Nathan Anthony, Pinhook Rye, a little young and too floral and minty for my taste.
Nice.
Miles Ferguson, killed to 518. Cape Fear Distillery Bourbon, my first Wilmington area whiskey. I actually did pour it down the drain.
Nice.
I think the only whiskey I've ever poured down the drain what was that one we got samples
Oh,
from?
Bespoken.
Spoken, yeah.
I handed that off to friends.
And I made the mistake of giving it a better rating because I felt pressure. That's the only time I've ever bowed to a sponsor.
But then you fixed it.
I did. But hopefully someone didn't listen to the episode and was like, well, I'll get a bottle. Don't get a bottle. Brian Rapp, High West Burr Rye 2022, only gotten worse over the years. We had a lot of write-ins. I mean, this is
we did.
DJ Rockefeller, 1981, Paul John Christmas Collection. I'm not surprised he said that because I was interested. He said it was not great.
We're being sent that at the moment. Ben Klepseg is sending that over, so it'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah. Paul Clarkson, Chattanooga whiskey, vatted high malt. Everything else, Chat whiskey has been great. And Jason Preston's JWPMTL, right?
The Canadian himself.
Yeah, he says anything Canadian, and I disagree with that.
Okay, so Jason Preston did like. I'll say this: he did. It's not fully Canadian, but he did like Mr. Sam. I think
Mr. Sam was
he bought
delicious.
a lot of it. So, let's move on to this week's. This is from listeners. If you have what whiskey would you choose? You'd like to propose to us? Yeah, we'll probably take it as long as we haven't done it before.
Get down on one knee and propose. We'll say yes.
If you want to propose,
we're the whiskey sensies. We'll say yes, just to spare your feelings.
So this one it's a kind of a scenario. I like it. If you were at a whiskey bar and someone comes in that's celebrating their 21st birthday, seems like a good guy or girl, and you are feeling generous, what glass do you send over to their table and say, hey, enjoy this?
Ooh,
what is the pour you
this
choose?
Is a good one.
This. And let's say you're at a good whiskey bar with a good selection.
Golly.
So
this is complicated. Okay, it's complicated.
Yeah, there's layers to this one. Because you don't want to throw them like a cast strength something yet. I don't think so.
Well, that was my
but
first.
Maybe they're doing well. Who knows?
And the other thing too is like they're turning 21. Mm-hmm. Chances are, this might be they don't like they've just been sneaking beers from their dad, right? Like they're not into whiskey.
It might be the case, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could be too that they're sneaking whiskeys from their dad or their mom.
Maybe they're experienced.
So you don't know where they're at on that spectrum either.
Yeah. So you want to play that game too. No.
Oh man, this is tricky. You got any thoughts? What are you going to do?
I do actually. I thought about it. I was like, no cast strength. Something that is classy, semi-expensive, not like that expensive, but like where you're not throwing them a Buffalo Trace and being like because I feel like you got to celebrate a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Weller Antique 107 for this because it's classy. It's enough proof, but it's also pretty agreeable. Like Weller standards are agreeable, and I think they'll be like, wow, this is fancy. And then you set them on the trajectory of like, I'm gonna enjoy good whiskey, and I'm gonna listen to the best whiskey podcast
The
with chill filter to
podcast.
the name.
Oh, chill
Yeah,
filter.
exactly. Yeah. Definitely not non-chill filtered, because those guys are gonna do better than us one day, whenever they start it. Yeah.
All right.
But Weller Antique 107.
I like that. That is, I think, a great pour.
Mhm.
I am gonna go a little similar. I'm
Okay.
gonna send some Blanton's. I think Blanton's
Good choice.
it looks fancy. It's got the name recognition right now. Kid will be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
God, Bobby Blanton's."
Yeah.
But it's also like, if they don't like, I feel like Blanton's is just kind of generic and okay, right? Like, it's not
Mhm.
too high proof. It goes down fairly easy.
Yeah,
So
it's like
if they're
93 or
not
whatever.
if they're not really into like
Yeah.
experience with it, they could probably still get it down and feel
Yeah,
good about
totally.
themselves. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
question, good scenario. We haven't done a
Blanton
lot of
shot.
scenarios lately, so I like that.
I like that.
I
Yeah, we gotta do more
appreciate it.
scenarios. So, listeners, if you want to send us a potential what whiskey would you choose, we're always down. So hit us up.
You boys need help. Would you send
Next
the
week-
boys the whiskey?
Send the boys the whiskey. I mean the questions. This week, speaking of sending whiskey, I am gonna do my best to get what is it? A. Smith Bowman Cast Strike Batch 2 your way this week.
Perfect.
Before we record this coming week. And that's my goal, is to get
If not,
A. Smith Bowman.
it doesn't work out. What if we did that Larceny Barrel Proof versus the Jim Beam Signature?
Oh, which one? There's 3 signatures. There's like
Signature, Craft. I don't know, one of those.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Those are from Brian Rapp. What was the first one you said?
Larceny Barrel Proof?
That was me. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, that sounds great to me. Let's do that. And there's a chance that we're going to be on, both of us, on Matt Madness this Friday. I don't know
this
yet.
Friday?
We haven't heard. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
Are you free this Friday? I hope you are.
Oh, I'll make sure. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good. But there's a chance we'll be famous this week.
And if it is possibly, we'll try to even do will it be like 2 back-to-back weekends of drink-alongs?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be in March, so technically it'll count. So
exactly.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
join us pre-game with the drink along entry buzz.
We'll mention it on our Instagram or something if it's official that we're doing it Friday. Please join us. Join us for the drink along. Join us for the Matt Madness. We are fueled by your cheers. So
Bush's baked beans
and Bush's baked beans. The only beans that you should buy. So
beans, bourbon, buddies.
Yep, that's us. Maybe we should change our name to that. But Sherry Butts. Yeah, check us out this week. And we're having fun. Like, guys, if we lose Matt Madness, that's all good. We're having fun. If we win Matt Madness and go to the championships and bring home the trophy, it's for you guys, because we appreciate you. And I hope our listeners know how much we appreciate them.
Cole, I hope you have a good day today.
I hope that you are feeling good. What do we normally say? What's the thing that I say? I hope that you are
making good decisions and being safe.
Amen to that. So I hope, listeners, that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Oh yeah, it should have been.
That should have been the name of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been the